Is that why I was getting a fourth fucking slot? Wait, what happens if I comment that out? There's a syntax to this. Hold on. Like that? Yeah. 1, 2. Fuck yes. The card generate. They go back to the hand. I don't have it to where you can swap them in the hand yet, but I do have the slots working. You can put them in the slots. And I have it. I'm working on if you wanted to swap this position, like the 2 cards positions right now, it will swap it. So 1 armor takes over, but Steel Blade goes back to your hand. And I want to have it go into the next slot, like have them swap slots. And that's why I was making each slot have its own index. So that way, if I did do it from here, it would swap to the right one. And now, that should all be in here. So if the slot is empty, we put the card in the slot from slot index there. And the card that's in the slot. That might be a little redundant if I do it this way. And I might need to refactor the fuck out of this now that I actually have a slot manager in place. Brain, activate. So, the slot's empty. Put the card in. Card from hand. That card position to the slot position. Let slot know there is a card. Card slot down. Okay, now that's if the slot is empty. Slot has a card in it already.
Has a card in it? Get fucked. You lose the card. If you place card, give card to other player.
Okay, slot has a card in it already. So if card is being put in slot from hand, do this, which we kinda already had. So letting it know which card is already in the slot. Yeah. So I think we do want an if now. So if card being dragged dot card origin equal to hand. Ooh, tummy. Then do this. Okay. I guess it's either from a hand or from a slot, so I guess I could probably do else. Yeah, this is assuming we are hovered over a card slot, which means we are either trying to put it from the hand or another card slot. Those are the only 2 scenarios, yeah. Okay. Let's pass that for now and get this working. So put dragged card into slot. And I think we just want to do this part of it. So we remove it. So we remove the card being dragged from hand. Remove from our hand. Let the slot know. Oh, I should split that out into a function if it's going to be like a whole thing that I repeat like that a bunch, but fuck it. We'll go through a whole refactor session later. Okay, so set the position, but we'll probably want to do that after we get rid of it from hard slot the other one. So now we'll do theoretically. Didn't like that. Okay. Oh, it's because I didn't. Hold on. But then I'll need to set card already in slot dot card origin is equal to hand now. Okay, so that functionality is back. But now it's actually remembering the card's origin. Now I need to add that part. Okay, beautiful work.
Roger.
Roger Dodger. Card being dragged. Make a var dead as simple as swap the origins. Maybe swap positions, right? So wait, is it dead ass that simple? And we'll need to let the slots know, I think, too.
Engines out.
Does it need. Hold on, does it need to actually know the exact fucking card that's in it, or can the cards worry about their position and origin, and then the slots just care whether there's a card in them? Let me just see what the fuck happens. Okay, didn't like that. Alright, invalid operator, int and oh. So wait, var card origin equals hand. You can insert data into a string. How do you do that? Godot, how to? Okay, Godot, how to insert int var into string. Why is this? Like, I can do this in C super easy. Am I just being stupid? Cast it to a fucking string. Will that make you happy? Why is it still thinking it's a freaking... Where are you getting an int from? Combine the fucking strings into an index name. Do I need to cast it to fucking... No, it doesn't. Cache it. It's a string. Card being dragged dot or card origin equal to index name, which is a string again. Card already in slot dot card origin returns the hand, which is a string. Then if they're both in slot, actually, I can fucking look at this probably. Am I being derm? Bam, bam. You have a card in your slot, you have a card in your slot, your index is 0, your index is 2. Poggin. Go to the cards. Card origin is an int. Why, oh why have you become an int? This is where I was fucking it up. Okay. So we're just gonna want to bring this. Is that my issue? Well, that didn't quite work. Alright, well, actually, yeah, let me run that and have the thingy up to the side here and see what's going on. So, if I move you here, card slot 1, card slot 2. Now, if I over you, card slot 0, slot 1, slot 0. Now, what happens? You both just get card slot 0. Okay. But when I move you back over, you get, you're still at 0. Okay. Let's see something real quick. Make sure it's recognizing the fact it wants to try to swap them. Okay, so it does recognize it should try. I'm getting so fucking... You know what? Code, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what it fucking thinks. Yeah, I know I'm just being actually dumb right now, but my brain isn't wanting to kick into that gear at least. Wrap itself around that for some reason. Whoa, that's... See here, I'm gonna step through it before I have it actually do this because it wants me to replace this. I think. Okay.
One eternity later.
A string that it's trying to reference for the slot in the card? Or was that? It just references the actual slot node because each, are unique. And that way I can, here, let me just kind of step through what I did here. So, like, for example, if the card's being dragged from the hand to an empty slot, card slot found because we raycast checked to see, where we're finishing the drag and it's over a slot. Is card in slot equals false because it's going to an empty slot. And the previous slot was the player hand node, which is just an empty node that holds the cards. If so, remove card that we're trying to put into the slot. from the hand, and then we set its position to the card slot found position, set its origin to that slot, so that way we can know where it came from in future cases. This is like a debug thing, so I can see what slot it's in editor. So like in the remote thing, I can actually see the slot name instead of object ID 9765777, like whatever the fuck it says. So I just give it a string that's the slot name, and when I generate the slots, I let it know that, you know, its name is card slot X. Let the slot know there's a card in it, and let the slot know exactly what card's in it. So like an actual reference to the card itself. And then this is the same thing as this, but for the slot, so I know what card is in the slot if I want to reference the slot for debugging purposes. But yeah. And then once I figured that step out of referencing the actual slot itself, it was just realizing there's a lot of different edge cases. Like if you're here, let me play. So like for this example, you know, we're dragging from player hand to an empty slot. That's one case. We're dragging from a slot to another empty slot. That's another case. We're dragging from player hand to a slot with a card in it. That's another case. And then just, yeah, all the different cases and fixing all the bugs with them. But I figured all the cases out by trial and error, just like, oh, yeah, no, that caused a bug. Why did that cause a bug? Oh, because it's from player hand to a card with the slot, not an empty one. And I have nothing prepared for that. So it's doing random shit. And I'm probably going to strip all this into just a card swap logic function. So that way the finish drag function isn't all card swap logic. It now fully works. I can drag slots. It'll know that this slot is now empty. I can, ooh, actually, there's a case I don't have. Hold on. I'll have to fix that. I figured all the cases out by trial and error. But yeah, other than that case, it can swap and know what the fuck's going on. So now what I'm working on is fixing that bug and then shrinking the card slots so it's not taking up a third of the screen. I'm going to shrink them down, and then when you drag a card and hover over to the slot, it's going to kind of shrink the card to match. That way you can actually place it. Yeah, I think if I do shrink down the slots, the hover effect when it's in slot will have to like do a little side pop out and do it more like this next to the card so that we can actually read it. Once I figure out the slots being smaller, I think it's starting. I'm gonna make up some enemy cards, make up like a little rough enemy object, I guess, that has, you know, its health and its cards and all that shit, and then work on like a turn system next. I think it's the big one.